Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2024, and you're listening to Alex's News. The high in Riverside today will reach 86.7 degrees, with a low of 63.9, so it's a great day to enjoy some outdoor activities. Coming up on today's episode, we'll explore the potential impact of the upcoming Trump-Harris debate on the 2024 presidential race. We'll also delve into the ways California's ongoing wildfire crisis is transforming the home insurance landscape. Plus, we'll look at how recent discoveries about lunar volcanoes are changing what we thought we knew about the moon's past. Stay tuned for these stories and more on Alex's News. Returning now to the recent presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Joining us to discuss this significant political event is our Washington correspondent, Ethan. Ethan, can you give us an overview of what transpired during this debate?
Certainly, Grace. The first presidential debate between Republican nominee Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Kamala Harris took place just 2 days ago, on September 11th, at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. According to Nielsen ratings, over 67 million viewers tuned in to watch the debate, which was moderated by ABC News anchors David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
That's quite a substantial audience, Ethan. What were some of the key topics discussed during the debate?
The candidates covered a wide range of issues, Grace. Immigration was a hot topic, with Trump criticizing Harris for the increase in migrants entering the U.S., while Harris countered by blaming Trump for blocking a bipartisan immigration bill. Economic policy was another major focus, with Harris presenting her vision for what she called an opportunity economy, emphasizing child tax credits and small business support.
How did Trump respond to Harris's economic proposals?
Trump took a confrontational approach, Grace. He accused Harris of favoring corporate tax cuts and went as far as labeling her economic policies as Marxist. The debate also touched on sensitive issues like abortion, where Trump made some claims about Harris's stance that were challenged by the moderators for accuracy.
I see. Were there any other notable topics discussed?
Yes, Grace. Environmental issues and climate change were brought up, with Harris highlighting her plans for a clean energy economy. Interestingly, Trump largely avoided this topic, choosing instead to focus on trade deals. Foreign policy was also debated, with both candidates criticizing each other's approaches.
How would you characterize the overall tone of the debate, Ethan?
The debate was marked by personal attacks and highlighted stark policy differences between the candidates. Grace. According to political analysts, Harris received positive reviews for her polished performance, while Trump's responses were criticized as rambling by some pundits.
Were there any post-debate polls conducted to gauge public reaction?
Yes, there were, Grace. According to a Reuters/Ipsos survey, 53% of voters thought Harris won the debate, compared to 24% for Trump. Similar results were seen in polls conducted by CNN and YouGov.
That's interesting, Ethan. Has there been any talk of additional debates?
Actually, Grace, there has been some controversy surrounding that issue. Harris's campaign challenged Trump to another debate, but Trump rejected this on his Truth Social platform, stating, and I quote, "There will be no third debate." This decision came despite Harris's strong performance and calls for additional debates from various quarters.
With the election coming up on November 5th, which is 53 days from now, how do you think this debate might impact the race?
It's hard to say definitively, Grace. The race is currently neck and neck according to polls, and the impact on undecided voters in key battleground states remains unclear. It's worth noting that public opinion on the need for additional debates is split. The Reuters-Ipsos poll found that 54% of registered voters feel one debate was sufficient, while 46% wanted a second debate.
Thank you, Ethan, for that comprehensive overview of the presidential debate. We appreciate your insights.
You're welcome, Grace. As we move closer to Election Day, both campaigns are likely to focus on key battleground states, and continue to emphasize their policy differences and visions for the country's future.
Thanks again, Ethan. And that's story 1 of 3 for this morning. We turn now to a developing story in California's Inland Empire, where recent wildfires have brought renewed attention to the state's ongoing home insurance crisis. Joining us with more details is our reporter, Chloe. Chloe, can you give us an overview of the situation?
Certainly, Grace. According to reporting from Cal Matters, the Orange County Register, and Palo Alto Online, a series of wildfires in the Inland Empire, including the Line Fire, Bridge Fire, and Airport Fire, have collectively burned over 100,000 acres. These fires have not only forced evacuations, but have also prompted emergency declarations by Governor Gavin Newsom and local authorities.
That sounds devastating, Chloe. How are these wildfires affecting the home insurance situation in California?
Well, Grace, these wildfires have exacerbated an already critical issue, the dwindling availability of home insurance in high-risk areas. Major insurance companies are exiting the California market, particularly in fire-prone regions like the Inland Empire's deserts and mountains. For example, State Farm announced earlier this year that it would not renew 72,000 policies statewide. Both State Farm and Allstate stopped writing new policies in California last year.
That's alarming. What's causing insurance companies to pull out of the California market?
It's a complex issue, Grace. While wildfire risks are a significant factor, there are other contributing elements. These include regulatory challenges, economic factors, technological and operational costs, and market dynamics. California's price regulations, which limit how much insurers can raise rates without a public hearing, have made it difficult for companies to adjust premiums in response to increasing risks. Additionally, factors such as inflation, rising construction costs, and the costs of reinsurance have further strained insurers' ability to operate profitably in high-risk areas.
How is this affecting homeowners in these areas?
The impact on homeowners has been severe, Grace. Many are struggling to find affordable insurance, with some forced to rely on the California FAIR Plan. For those unfamiliar, the FAIR Plan is a high-risk pool that is typically more expensive and lacks comprehensive coverage compared to standard insurance policies. This situation has prompted local officials, such as San Bernardino County Supervisor Don Rowe, to advocate for additional safeguards like advance notice of policy cancellations and an appeal process for homeowners.
Is the state taking any action to address this crisis?
Yes, Grace. California is implementing several measures to encourage insurance companies to re-enter the state's high-risk markets. Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara has introduced reforms to make California regulations more insurer-friendly, including streamlined rate reviews and the use of catastrophe modeling to set rates. The state is also implementing a sustainable insurance strategy that requires large insurers to write at least 85% of their statewide market share in wildfire-distressed areas.
Are there any other initiatives being put in place?
Indeed, there are. The state is allowing insurers to include the cost of reinsurance in their premiums and permitting the use of forward-looking catastrophe models to assess and price climate-related risks. They're also promoting wildfire safety measures among homeowners. The Safer from Wildfires regulation encourages homeowners to implement safety measures, which can lead to lower premiums and priority access to the normal insurance market.
That's quite comprehensive. Is there anything else being done to address this issue?
Yes, Grace. The California Department of Insurance is developing a statewide map to identify areas where wildfire risk and FAIR Plan policies are concentrated. This will help insurance companies understand where they need to write more policies. This effort aligns with CAL FIRE's wildfire mitigation efforts.
It sounds like a complex situation with no easy solutions. Thank you, Chloe, for that detailed report on the home insurance crisis in California's Inland Empire.
You're welcome, Grace. It's certainly a situation that will require ongoing attention and effort from all parties involved.
Indeed it will. Thanks again, Chloe. Here are some other headlines. A devastating typhoon in Vietnam has left 233 dead and over 100 missing. The storm, named Yagi, was the strongest to hit Southeast Asia in decades. Rescue efforts are hampered by damaged roads, with 500 personnel searching for survivors. The disaster has also impacted industrial hubs, potentially disrupting global supply chains. China has announced plans to raise its retirement age for the first time in decades. The changes, to be implemented gradually over 15 years starting in 2025, will see men retiring at 63 and women at 55 or 58, depending on their occupation. This move aims to address China's demographic crisis and strained pension system. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has reaffirmed America's commitment to Ukraine during a joint visit with his UK counterpart. The U.S. pledged $717 million in new economic and humanitarian aid. Discussions also focused on military support and concerns over Iran supplying ballistic missiles to Russia. A 4.7 magnitude earthquake struck near Malibu, California, early Thursday morning. The tremor was felt across Southern California, including Los Angeles. An early warning system provided residents with seconds of notice before the shaking began. Boeing is facing a major strike as 33,000 factory workers walked off the job on Friday. The action follows the rejection of a proposed contract that offered a 25% wage increase over 4 years. The strike has halted production at Boeing's main assembly plants in Washington state, affecting popular models like the 737 MAX and 777. In a fascinating development that bridges lunar geology with the age of dinosaurs, we turn to our science correspondent Ethan for more details on a groundbreaking study about volcanic activity on the moon. Ethan, what can you tell us about this research?
Well, Grace, this is truly an exciting discovery that's reshaping our understanding of the moon's geological history. According to reporting from the Texarkana Gazette, scientists have found evidence suggesting that lunar volcanoes were still active during the time of the dinosaurs here on Earth.
That's incredible, Ethan. How did researchers make this connection?
The key to this discovery lies in tiny glass beads collected from the moon's surface. These beads, which were formed during volcanic eruptions, were brought back by China's Change 5 mission in 2020. Scientists analyzed these samples and, as reported in a study published in the journal Science Advances, dated them to about 2 billion years ago.
And how does this timeline relate to the age of the dinosaurs?
Well, Grace, to put it in perspective, dinosaurs existed on Earth from about 245 to 66 million years ago. So this means that lunar volcanic activity was still occurring well into the dinosaur era. It's a mind-boggling thought that if dinosaurs could have looked up at the moon, they might have actually witnessed volcanic eruptions.
That's truly fascinating, Ethan. How does this discovery change what we previously thought about the moon's volcanic activity?
This finding significantly extends our timeline of lunar volcanic activity. Grace, previously, scientists believed that such activity on the moon lasted for about 1 to 1.5 billion years after its formation. However, this new evidence suggests that the moon remained volcanically active for at least 2 billion years after its formation.
What implications does this have for our understanding of the moon and other celestial bodies?
The implications are quite significant, Grace. According to the study's lead author, Alexander Nemchin from Curtin University in Australia, these glass beads provide the youngest evidence of volcanic activity on the moon discovered so far. This challenges our previous understanding of the moon's thermal evolution, suggesting that its interior remained hot enough to produce magma for much longer than we thought.
And how might this impact our broader understanding of planetary formation?
That's an excellent question, Grace. This discovery suggests that smaller planetary bodies like the moon can retain heat and remain geologically active for longer periods than previously believed. This could have far-reaching implications for our understanding of planetary formation and evolution in general.
It's amazing how a few tiny glass beads can lead to such significant insights. Are there any other noteworthy aspects of this research?
Indeed, Grace. The research team used various sophisticated techniques, including uranium-lead dating, to determine the age of these glass beads. It's a testament to the advanced methods now available in planetary science. Additionally, as reported by Wyoming News and Geology Science, this discovery is being hailed as highly significant in the field of planetary science, adding to our growing knowledge of the moon's complex history and its relationship with Earth during the age of dinosaurs.
Thank you, Ethan, for bringing us up to speed on this fascinating lunar discovery. It's remarkable how our understanding of the moon continues to evolve.
It's my pleasure, Grace. It just goes to show that there's always more to learn about our celestial neighbor.
Indeed it does. Thank you once again, Ethan, for that insightful report. This has been Story 3 of 3 for today, September 13th, 2024. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King with Claude Sonnet 3.5, the Perplexity API, and the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.